Hello friends and welcome to another replay analysis. This time we're going to take a look at Lich over here. Let's move it so we can actually see Lich. Here we go. We're going to take a look at Lich, who is Archon 4, I believe. And this is actually an in-house game in RD2L, so it's a bit of a mix of ranks. I think there's some Divines and Ancients. So we're not going to worry too much about everyone else. As always, we're just focused on the support anyways. You had a couple questions about laning and then mid-game fights. So we're going to take a look at all that. And yeah. So to get started, it's not super clear who's going to be in your lane. I would say maybe from the draft you have a better idea, though since this is an in-house, there might even be more confusion on where people are going. So I would say your off lane is probably either Pango or Snapfire. And then the 4 could be like maybe Tiny. Actually, it's very unclear. Snapfire could be a core, or she could be one of the supports. Tiny could be a 4, or the mid, he could be a 4 while she's the 5. So in this case, we kind of have to go off of worst case scenario. I would say the deadliest lane combo we could go against is Snapfire and Tiny. And then the least threatening is like probably Pango and then any combination, just because Pangolier is not a very strong offlaner. So your items have to reflect the fact that, okay, we might go against a really tough lane. So these I don't have an issue with. I think that is all good. But I think the Fairy Fire and the Iron Branch, or maybe just the Fairy Fire, could be something different. So like if this is a really tough lane, then we're going to need to pull. And we kind of almost need to guarantee we can pull. And so I kind of think maybe a Sentry could be pretty good. Sentry instead of this Fairy Fire, for example. Iron Branch actually is fine. If you have the Sentry, I think the Iron Branch is okay. The reason I don't think the Fairy Fire is that useful is because I don't think you'll right click that much. You know, if it's let's say it's Pangolier, then what I want you to do, throw out a bunch of spells, get him really low. AM will be fine on his own then. You go and pull, you win through repeated pulls. If it's a really tough lane, then you're not really going to be doing a lot of right click harass, especially if Tiny is in this lane. You're going to burst a bit and then just try to dodge. Because if you get tossed into like Snapfire, you're probably dead. So because of that, we don't really need the Fairy Fire. And because frankly, in the toss combo, you usually die before you even hit the ground and get to use items. And so although this is technically 85 health heal, there's a chance you just die before you get to use it. And so I may favor just like another Iron Branch, because that's 20 HP from the 1 strength. And that is HP that you just get. You don't have to use it before the combo kills you. You just have it. I'm kind of leaning. It's tough to say. If you don't know who their 4 is, it's tough to commit to this. But if I knew Tiny was their 4, I also think the Quelling Blade start could be really good. If you watch the Quelling Blade video we did, it just makes it a lot harder for Tiny to play the game. But if I was you, it'd be... If I had a feeling Tiny would be 4 based on the draft, then I might do it. You know, if Tiny was picked up pretty early, then there's a good chance he's a support. I didn't watch the draft. I kind of skipped through it. You can see down here. So if you feel like Tiny's the support, then I think you could do it. Oh, actually, AM's kind of cutting your trees for you. Okay, actually, that might be fine then. If you don't cut the trees, or if you don't get a Quelling Blade, but you ask AM. So he's cut some of the trees here. I think this is okay. But actually, I would prefer him to cut just 1 tree here, and then cut like a clump here. I think over here is better, because this is... Where's Tiny going to be? You know, if Tiny's the 4, he's playing in this area here. And that's why having this clump of trees cut is really useful to see Tiny and then harass him a bit. Having this clump of trees is not so useful, because that means if I'm here and I don't know where Tiny is, then like I have to walk back here. This is a couple seconds of my time to peek out, find it safe, walk here, hit him, then walk back. And it's like... It's literally seconds, but they add up over the lane. And so cutting these trees here would be a lot better. So if you don't want to buy the Quelling Blade because you're not sure who's in this lane, then I think if AM started with the Quelling Blade, which I think he should, then cutting these trees, asking him to cut these trees is really good. And once we have that, we can play the lane a little easier, I think. Now you guys should be careful, but you should also be trying to see who is in your lane because you're so uncertain. So that involves like standing at these edges, kind of look. This looks like it is going to be Tiny Snapfire. Once you see it's Tiny Snapfire, I don't think you want to fight. I think they're stronger than you guys, and we can kind of see they are winning this trade. It is nice to be able to use your spells early and then clarity up, but they're just pretty strong with the combo. You guys kind of are too. If you were willing to start Frost Shield level 1, that might be okay, but even then I still don't love it. I think you just give them the rune, or like you even try to like sneak around and go get their rune over here and let them just go for this one. So here we see you getting tossed in. This is kind of what we were talking about. And you said too, like you were scared of Tiny. So in this case, the Fairy Fire may have saved your life. You were pretty low. He may have chosen to chase you and hit you if you didn't have that Fairy Fire. So there's that. But what if we just avoided all of this damage instead? So like, this is why if we had these trees cut right here, or if you had a ward, where'd your team place them? Place them bottom and top. I guess that's okay. I would actually have given you guys the ward top just because you know Ricky is the carry. It's very unlikely anyone else is going to be the carry, so Ricky is bottom. So you already know that. It's the top lane and the mid lane that are very unclear because of their combination of heroes. It's not clear who's going to be in this lane. And so I think you guys should have the wards top and mid and try to place them a little aggressively at the start to try to see who's in the lane, or even to just place it here preemptively. And, you know, if it's Tiny, great. This is a really good ward to have against Tiny. If it's not Tiny, oh well. Not the best ward, but, you know, it's still going to be useful in the lane. So, like, if these trees were cut or if you had a ward, you would have known Tiny was here. Look at all this health that you wouldn't have lost. And now you end up using the Fairy Fire and taking a lot of damage. Get a bit of return trade, so that's pretty good. But it would have been better not for this to not happen. So right now, I'd be heading to the pull camp. Looks like we're not going to. Their wave is pushing into you right now. And so I think there's a great chance for a half pull, because this will be very safe for AM. It's not pushing out, it's pushing into his tower. And as long as he's near here, he will be very safe on his own, especially if he hits level 2 soon, because if he gets tossed out, he'll just blink away. And so I think that would have been a good time to go pull. Once AM is 2, he's very safe in this lane. And beyond that, once he's like level 3 and has his magic resist passive, plus the chance to, I guess not much to reflect. Does toss? I don't even know if toss gets reflected, actually, to be honest. But just the natural magic resist would be nice against this combo and her spells. And I think like he's extremely safe. Even if he gets avalanche tossed without possibly reflecting it, I don't even know if it can. He just won't take that much damage, and then he'll blink away. And then he just won't die in this lane after that, pretty much. Unless they like chain stun him a bit, but that's what the magic resist is for, is to survive that burst, then blink out, and then hopefully you have a salve for him. Or does he have his own? No. That's one thing you should do. You should check him. And since you had to use your salve pretty quickly, you might consider buying a second salve. So you see there, you see how, so he's like running at you, right? And it's very obvious what he's doing. He's trying to like get on top of you and throw you back. So he ends up choosing not to do it, and you just back away. I actually would have backed away a little sooner. If he wanted to, he could have tossed you back. Because you chose to auto attack first. You might back up first under the tower where he won't chase you and toss you. But you get the idea that when you can see him coming in, it's very easy to just back up, get in a free auto attack if you can, if you have the distance, and then back up. He can't do anything. That's why we would want to cut those trees to make the laning a little easier. I think you don't have to pull right now, but you should head over now to do a stack. We kind of want to cycle through small camps as much as we can. I haven't emphasized that enough yet in videos. I think I'm going to wait for the new patch though, actually, but you really want to try to go through as many small camps as you can, because right now we're still at the 1 minute spawn. So if we had gotten that killed off, you know, that's one camp dead. If you did a pull at 117 and 147 though, then the camp dies, but it doesn't respawn at 2 minutes. So you have to try to do the half pull at 117 so you can stack it at this time. Well, technically you don't have to do the pull, you could just stack it now. But if you had done the half pull, you've already done some stuff to help the lane. like early already, and then we still get the camp to be available between between the 2 and 3 minute mark. So I think there's been 2 chances to pull, which we haven't done yet. And if you had pulled, so it looks like they've pulled. If you had done a stack at 2 minutes, you could now do a full pull at 2:17 and kind of cancel out this pull. So in the end, this pull isn't even that bad for you guys because your creep wave is pushing up, and now AM's going to farm this on his own, which means you actually have some time to come do this pull. I don't think he needs to turn around. I think you just keep walking forward. But actually, it looks like you're going to get the range creep. This is okay, actually. Kill off 1 range creep. Tiny probably got XP for that, but you denied it, so half XP. Oops. Walked a little too close. So this time we did see him. This is the idea of the Quelling Blade, but not actually even needed here because you did see him, but you still walked in a little too close by playing in this area. Fortunately, he had to use Avalanche and then Toss, so the full combo didn't even go off on you. But then, you see, okay, this is perfect, actually. Perfect example. You you have some confusion while you're kiting back and forth like this, right, from the pathing, and then all these trees break afterwards, and then you're able to run through. One, you could have tangled one of those trees to get through sooner, but if you had the Quelling Blade or asked AM to keep cutting trees as much as you can, then you don't waste any of that time walking back and forth there, and you just get out straight away. But I think we're going to move a little faster now, because we've already seen, it's just going to be like the same idea again and again. Times you could pull, times you could avoid the Tiny combo. I don't feel like Tiny needs to pull, actually. I think you guys could have probably killed the Tiny, even, if you Frost Shield the AM and go on that. AM's gonna get the solo XP, but you're being zoned away from this, so this is kind of good for them. As a response, I think you could have done the 347 pull, maybe a half pull, or stack it and then do a full pull at 417. So that even though this is good for them, and then they get, you know, a favorable lane for the next couple seconds, then you're able to do a full pull because you've got the stacked camp. You just have a lot more options if the camp is stacked. And we haven't made great use of it yet. I think this is still the first camp that spawned. Elaine is pushing, so again, you can think about pulling. That's another thing you can do if you start with a sentry, by the way. You can either use it to make sure, so priority would be to make sure you can use your own small camp, but then say you find out it's not blocked, you could possibly block the hard camp so that they can't do pulls. And that's pretty good when you have someone like AM. So this is where like one of you having a salve right now would be really good. You see how he's going to have to play really safe because the combo could kill him right now. Even though he survived and got away like we talked about, he doesn't have the salve to keep playing. So like since that happened, he's been playing passive here the whole time, and he's missing some of these last hits and stuff. That's why the salve is pretty important to have. Or what did he build? Yeah, if he didn't have this Ring of Regen, or this Ring of Health, well, both actually. If he didn't have these two, just imagine how much longer he would be playing safe because you guys don't have enough regen. Once you had to use the salve pretty early. Actually, I think you did buy one, but then you had to use it again. Which kind of shows this butterfly effect where because you couldn't avoid Tiny properly, you had to use the regen on yourself so that eventually you've run out of regen. Now they go on AM. Now AM is being zoned out. And so this is why like it's this like chain effect. So like if we could avoid Tiny, you probably wouldn't have even had to use your first salve, let alone buy the second salve. And if you avoid Tiny the first time, you'll avoid him the second time. And now you still have your regen. They finally go on AM. He blinks away. You salve him. He returns the lane. It's like all these like small things that don't seem like a lot, but they do add up. I don't know if you knew the rune timing or not. I don't blame you for not going for it if it was a conscious decision though, because going against Tiny is pretty scary. We have to be careful right now. I don't know. I can't see in-game chat. This isn't in-house, so maybe you guys are talking. You do need to ping that Tiny is missing. If you don't ping it, you know, say it. And you probably should get yourself a ward up here. Tiny is a roamer, so having a ward up here to not only spot Tiny to avoid what we talked about, him sneaking up on you and comboing, but also to just see him. Like if he does roam mid, you want to see that. And so you need a ward for that. Oh, there we go. We got one. Yeah, think I'm okay with that. Looks like you cannot reflect toss. Yeah, because you don't target AM, you target someone else. Okay. So at this point, I would say the lane is just rough. So AM is technically pretty farmed up. But let's check out of curiosity. Let's check XP. So yeah, in XP, Snapfire, Tiny, a little scattered. Maybe it's about even. But I don't think it has to be even right now. You know, I think you guys could have done a couple more pulls to establish the lead. You guys, this is a bit of a tough lane for AM to play a little more aggressively. Like usually AMs, they don't go for the kill, but they just attack a lot so that the enemy has no mana. It's a little harder for him to do that this lane because they have this like combo. I do think this is a lane where you want to establish an advantage through pulling, and then it's a little easier to do that. And then once you do it once, every time after that is a lot easier. As soon as AM drains all of their mana, then he only needs to hit them like once every now and then to like keep them really low on mana. But getting it that first time is kind of the hard part, and you can only do that. You can only do that when it's safe to do that. And sometimes it's safe to do that level 1. Sometimes it's only safe to do after you've established an advantage. And then from there, it becomes safer. Finally got him some regen, by the way. I don't know. I missed that. I think you had the salve, though. And finally used it. So we see... Yeah, so you see they actually have the advantage now, I would say. She's a higher level. And I think Tiny is technically level 3. Yeah. But the damage scaling from 3 to 4 is not very high. The next level that Tiny is really scary at is 5. So he still has a huge combo. And Snapfire, with every level Snapfire gets, she's getting a stronger and stronger combo. And you see they're itemizing correctly. They're getting mangoes because they know they're going to get mana drained. Who is this boss of an offlaner? Offlane spirit. Mid spirit breaker. What the heck? I was wondering. I was like, how is this guy so high leveled? Oh, that's wild. Okay, we're not watching him though. Yeah, kind of expected. At this point, it's hard to recover this lane. This just needs to be a... You need to build the advantage sooner as the hard support. You need to do all those pulls earlier, like 117 stack. Another 2 half pulls between 2 and 3 minutes, for example. Or a full pull and then stack. Or full pull, half... What am I saying? Full pull, kill the wave off. Let it respawn. Half pull the next minute. Like, you're looking for something as frequently as we can. Every opportunity we're trying to get something in, if possible. Sometimes it's not possible. But in this lane, I have seen opportunities to do the pull, and we haven't done it. So I'm not too worried about laning at this point anymore. Technically, this is like okay for Anti-Mage, but I think it could be better, and then you'd be feeling stronger. But right now, let me see what AM does. TB's back to lane. It's a little tough right now. AM is now at risk of dying pretty frequently, as long as the enemy team has mana. So what can you do right now? How's your bottom lane doing? We gotta go to free cam. Oh, Night Stalker doing okay. I don't quite know what mid Spirit Breaker does. I mean, I guess he just ganks a lot, right? But I'm having a tough time imagining how that translates to making space for Anti-Mage here in this next 3 minutes. Because right now, we have to come... This is another decision we have to make right now. It's the lane is like in this losing state, and it's going to get harder and harder for Anti-Mage to farm until somewhere else on the map opens up for him. He doesn't quite want to jungle yet. After he gets treads, he could jungle. Maybe treads and a Wraith Band. He doesn't really want to. If he could, he wants a lane, but he can't quite. Maybe he could go bottom. I don't think he wants to go mid. I think that would be a little miserable. So we really need the top lane to do better and survive longer and not reach this stage at 7 minutes. You wanted him to kind of get the lead so that he could stay in this lane while you go bottom to go make plays. But now, like, if we try to go make plays bottom, he's going to have a really rough time. So I would say maybe you try to help him out until he gets Tread's Wraithband, and then he could jungle once he hits level 5. And you go try to make stuff happen in the bottom lane. Yeah. That's like next best. We've been spending a lot on consumables this lane, by the way, which could have been avoided. Like that 130 gold on a Quelling Blade could have cut all these trees, help us avoid all those tiny combos, and then we wouldn't need to spend so much money on consumable regen. And you know, it's 8 minutes, but you're actually, yeah, you're way down here in net worth because you haven't been able to buy like actual items. You've had to buy these consumables to keep playing the lane, and it just has this like snowballing effect. You know, like, oh, we take damage, gotta buy consumables. We're full health, but like because I've had to buy so many consumables while they're buying like useful items, they're stronger than us in lane, and then they whittle us down, and then it's like, oh, I need more consumables. That's why hard support is like so much about like what you do at the start, because everything just has this compounding effect. Let's see if this helps out though. Looks like we're gonna get a kill. Cool. It's helping to salvage the lane. Rubik probably wasn't needed here. But with Rubik here, you guys should look to do this again. What's very likely to happen right now, you know how when AM died, he TP'd right back to his lane? There's a very high chance that when Snapfire TPs or respawns, she'll just TP back to this lane. There's also a chance that because this is an in-house, she might TP somewhere else to go use her ultimate. But you actually have a ward here now to spot her. So what you should do, the three of you should be ready, get a little closer together, and then if she TP's top, Spirit Breaker should charge again, you guys should just kill her again. And then that would buy AM space for like 40 seconds, which is enough time for you guys to all run bottom, make something happen there, and then that encourages people to like rotate bottom. And AM is fine in that whole time because Snapfire was dead and she used her teleport and she would have had to walk back top. Hey, look at that. Right back. Let's watch her perspective a little bit. Oops. I don't think she should have been able to get a solo kill. I think right now, you know, if Rubik was not there and you guys just like waited together up here, eventually she would have to push up. And if she does, you guys like Spirit Breaker charge. Like as soon as she walks up here, I think you could kill her. Especially if Spirit Breaker is already charging as she waits in this area. And you know, you've got lift, you've got the fear, you've got the damage, 4 heroes. I think this is a very easy kill if you guys just plan to kill her a second time. Sentry checking there, getting XP mid. Cool, mid kill. You have to commit ult for that. I don't mind. A mid kill for your ult is pretty decent. Does mean that, you know, we're a little weaker on team fights and we should be aware of that. And so like this fight breaks out, but you don't have your ultimate and he doesn't have his ultimate, so I think this is a pretty bad idea. Like, you could fake something up here, partially commit, and then as soon as they start rotating, you guys leave. But you guys are, like, pretty committed when the lane is, like, kind of in their favor. And now we see, like, this 4-on-4, but who does it favor? It's going to favor them. Even though it looks like Silencer is kind of underleveled, and I don't think Snapfire has her ult. You don't have your ult either, and neither does Spirit Breaker. And if you just think about the heroes in this game, you know, there's like a Spirit Breaker for that ult. Like, is he I mean, I don't know. I don't see that many Spirit Breaker mids, but I don't really see him getting a kill without his ultimate. And Anti-Mage, like, does he want to fight? No, he does not want this 4-on-4 up here. He wants to be what this Riki has right now. Riki has a 1-on-1 with this Night Stalker. So who does this favor? You have 2 carries who need to farm for a little bit. Riki can't really do much until he gets his Diffusal. And AM can't do much until at least he gets Battle Fury, and then he wants like Manta Basher. Point is, both of them want to farm for quite a while. And so right now, what team does this fight favor? It favors them, the Radiant, because Riki is getting time to farm by himself. And where's AM gotta go? AM is like, you know, kind of watching the fight, also kind of leaving, right? Look at that. Now, AM had to TP, spend some money teleporting. You guys are dying up there, and look at that. This guy can TP in and respawn because he saw AM go first. Although I actually don't think Ricky should have. I think Ricky should have just kept farming. I guess Ricky got scared of Night Stalker. I feel like Ricky should have been okay. I guess he had dust, maybe not. Conceptually, I stand by what I said, where it should have favored the Radiant because they have the one-on-one for their carry to farm. But it looks like Night Stalker's actually doing a little bit well, better than he should have probably, and looks like he's able to contest one-on-one in the daytime, which is a little weird. I don't think that should be happening.
Dire's top towers under attack.
Okay, team commitment mid. This is actually pretty decent timing. You're a little low on mana though, so I'm gonna see what you do here. But really, this means that you have your ult and one skill. Looks like it's gonna be one of these two skills. And if you don't need your ult, you don't need your ult. But odds are, in a tower dive like this, you probably need your ult. So let's see if you. Looks like you're gonna use Fear for her. Yeah, maybe not. Okay, you got your ult first. Not the greatest though, because it was kind of an awkward fight, to be honest. Oh no! Oh, that's sad. Oops, bumped my mic. Not used to this new setup. This mic is in a weird spot for me. My bad, guys.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
Because top lane did not go as well as it could have, and we had to stay there, we weren't able to go make other things happen. So at this point, laning stage is starting to break down, and yet our team has no towers. That's not 100% your fault. To be honest, your draft is just a little weird. Spirit Breaker mid is just very bizarre, and with Night Stalker off lane, Night Stalker can only apply pressure like every 5 minutes, and then for like this 1 minute section where he has his ult in the daytime, and like none of these guys really want to pressure towers. None of them are good at pushing waves, so it's kind of awkward if things aren't going all in your favor. And it puts you in a weird spot, which puts me in a weird spot because I have to figure out what you can do for more mid impact. Really, your game plan is just to like keep getting AM farm. Okay, that should let you know they have vision up there. Probably, we saw Silencer walk in this area. There's a very good chance there's a ward. I can see it on the minimap. There's a very good chance there's a ward in this area, especially because Ricky blinked up high ground. So I hope you buy a sentry here, or ping it out for your team. Hey, nice. Ah, didn't bounce. Oh, the idea is there, I think. You know, if they're together, you're gonna get a possibly double kill. All right, so for this mid-game impact, this is kind of moving on to the next part of your question. How can you have mid-game impact? Obviously, we've listed stuff that I think could have gone better early in the lane, but that's not the game we're playing, right? That's a theoretical better game. This is the game we're playing, and we could still win this game. So what can we do here? The game plan is going to be watching the minimap a lot, and AM, he's our little yellow dot here. We want to get him in the emptiest part of the map. Honestly, like, if you give him a free space down here, he'll farm well. You give him a free space up here, he'll farm well. Give him a free space in the mid lane, he'll farm well. It doesn't really matter what lane Anti-Mage is in, but he needs a lane and some jungle to be safe for him to farm. And he wants it to be like a bit on the enemy side so that as he gets chased out, he can then go back to his side and farm here. If he can only farm in his area here safely, then when the enemy invades, it's like, well, where do I go? Like, back here, there's nothing, and now I have to like go over here. And if Anti-Mage is farming your own jungle, where is everyone else farming? So, as we move into this mid-game, we're going to spend a lot of time looking at this minimap and looking for places for Anti-Mage to go and how our actions can draw the enemy team. Like, let's all go bottom. Let's draw the enemy team bottom. Where does that free up? That frees up top and mid for Anti-Mage. And if we look at our ward placement should reflect that as well. So like if we have decent defensive vision top, that makes top area a bit safer for AM. Maybe not in their triangle, but it at least makes our jungle fairly safe. And this, it makes this area safe, but not really their jungle. So we want to go play in one of these side lanes to try to draw people over, and then try to place like a deep ward. Because if you have a deep ward in this area, that makes bottom very safe, and then you also have a defensive ward as well. So Anti-Mage is TPing top. I didn't expect to already have a point so fast, but here we are. Anti-Mage is TPing top. That means if people run at him top, he cannot teleport anywhere else. He can only run, and that is less efficient because he wants to be in the lane. But if he gets chased out now, he has to go TP into his, or he has to blink into his jungle and then like slowly farm through the jungle and then make his way. Whereas if he had his teleport and they all come top, then he can teleport bottom and be super free for a while. What that means is that we want to quickly try to draw the enemy team away from top. So we want to go mid or bottom right now and help to stall them out. So even if we can't push, it looks like they have a lot of heroes bottom, so maybe they want to take this tower. In fact, let's keep playing. If they want to take bottom tower, you're decent at defending it. Drop Frost Shield, be there to fight, and that stalls them out so that if they want to commit top, or like they want to stay bottom until they get this tower, now Anti-Mage has time to farm. We didn't quite get anything going, so Anti-Mage being chased a little. Okay, now stuff is happening mid. Not too bad, I would say, because that means that, watching the minimap, we're a little late, right? Am was in the lane, but because nothing was happening quite yet, Pango was able to TP there and chase AM back into their jungle. So now something is happening, and Pango is probably on his way over mid, but AM has already been chased out of the lane. So this is not the best for us, but it does mean that if Pango comes mid, AM can quickly make his way back to lane. So it's like, it wasn't ideal, it wasn't the best, but it's, it's still like okay. It's not bad per se. Maybe we can kill her. Yeah. Mid, what's his name, just does not provide too much damage. Alright, so kind of losing the fight a little bit. Do we hate it? It's not the worst. Look at that. Look at that. AM is getting some time to farm. Alright, we're about to respawn here. Let's take a look at where people are. We saw someone mid. I don't know if we could actually see that guy bottom. I don't know if that was a replay bug. Okay, we see someone else bottom. We see Ricky. Oh, can you actually see him, or is that just... No, you can see him because he went for a deny. So what would be great? We want to get a tower. We could head bottom because this is the ideal tower to take first. And if Ricky's there, that means we disrupt Ricky's farm. We pressure the tower we want to take, and we are drawing attention away from the Anti-Mage who is top. And Anti-Mage TP'd there earlier, which means, okay, he doesn't have one right now. He should have a TP, and hopefully it's on the way. And that means if you guys successfully take bottom, and then he suddenly faces pressure, they try to go on him while you guys are taking bottom, he blinks out into the jungle, and then farms a little bit, and then when you guys are done here, he TP's bottom, and now he has this whole free space because other people rotated top to go on him. So I want to see you guys all go bottom right now. And by all of you, I mean the 4 of you. Plus, there's a Ricky in the game, so it's easiest to play in like one section at a time and keep it centried. So on the minimap, I can see like Pango feels safe. Nothing's happening to force Pango anywhere, so he feels like he can TP top to farm this and pressure Anti-Mage. And now look at that, Anti-Mage has to go blink safely instead of farming the lane like he wants to. Okay, so now we get down here, and this is actually, okay, so even though it wasn't, I wanted Pango to have to come down here, still, this means you should be able to take this tower, which, wasn't perfect, but still pretty good, because Pango can't join now. So you should be able to get this tower, or at least get a couple kills. It looks like you should get this tower. It's kind of low. Oh, please kill this man. Please kill this man. All right. Looking for a good ult. I think you could have ulted him there. There were a lot of creeps for it to bounce to, and hopefully like bounce to the silencer as well. Everyone's still alive though. Look, so see, what would have been great is for this to be going on and Anti-Mage to be farming freely. But because we were just like a little too slow, Pango came top and he's pressuring AM right now. AM looks like he should be fine though. He should get out alive. And we should still get this tower. Oh, nice. Good map awareness, checking it out. Okay, area bottom is now safe for Anti-Mage. I want you to look to place a deep ward in this area. If it was me, I kind of like this spot right here. Right here. Because you have decent vision, and it's not, many people will check this area, they'll check this area, check this area. So this is a little less common, and I think it sees some pretty good vision, and if Anti-Mage later is farming and he cuts this tree, now it provides vision on this camp too. Place a sentry as well, maybe a couple of them, because you are dealing with a Ricky, and the way Anti-Mage dies is if he is, he thinks he's safe, he's farming, and then suddenly a Ricky smoke clouds him so he can't Manta or blink away, and then he gets like comboed and killed. So have 1 or 2 sentries to try to spot Ricky. You don't need to see him the whole time, right? If you have a ward here and a sentry like here, and you see Ricky run through this area, it's fine that you can't see Ricky in the lane, because Anti-Mage, who was in the lane, he knows Ricky's in the area and he'll get out in time. So you just need to like spot Ricky somewhere. So the sentry can be like in the lane near here, because that's where, if Ricky TP's in and walks out, that's where you might see him. Or, if you place the ward here, putting a sentry like up here to check this, that's pretty good. And then you'll have a bit of overlap. So if Ricky runs through the area, you'll spot him again. Stuff like that. But that would help secure this bottom lane for Anti-Mage to come down to. Not right now, because there's a bunch of heroes here, but in the future.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I see what you mean, though. You did mention your team loses a couple fights in the mid game in a row. See, this does not make AM safe. Why? Well, one, you already had 2 other wards. But even if you didn't have those other wards, this still doesn't make bottom lane safe. Because with this tower gone, Anti-Mage wants to play like in this area, and then when he gets chased out, he will go to this area. And to play safe in this area, you need vision like here or here, where people would come in. Because once you get this tower, people can only TP onto the outpost, which takes a hella long time, and he might just see it. But they can also TP here or here, and then rotate in. And that's why like a deep ward somewhere here, those would see people rotating on Anti-Mage, and then Anti-Mage, and then he gets out safely. But this like doesn't see either of those rotations, which means he can still be killed here quite easily, and like he would never have gotten any kind of notice. Even if you place a ward and then they smoke to kill him, that sucks. But they had to commit a smoke for it. You don't want to give them like, if they just casually walk mid or casually walk to gank him, then that's not going to work because you have wards. So I want Anti-Mage to go bottom. What does that mean? I need to draw attention somewhere else. I need to go mid or top. This guy kind of going in. Not the best ult. Might still kill the guy though. I think it'd probably have been better to just like fear the guy than get like the 1 bounce. It's really important to get the bounce. Now here, don't feel rushed to ult. But not the worst. Okay? Because let's go back in time. Let's watch the minimap. I was watching you that time. Went a little far back. My bad. Let's go here. Okay. Watch the minimap. Specifically watch Anti-Mage. Farming over here. Look at this whole fight going on. And what does that mean? Anti-Mage? Yeah, get in that lane. Let's go watch it. Farm this. Farm it faster. Yes. Go blink to that camp. No, you want to keep pushing? That's fine too. Oh, okay, he wants to farm this one. Look at that. Free to do whatever he wants. Look at that. Blinks under the T2. Why can he do this? Because we see all of the enemy. If he didn't, he would be terrified because Ricky could be here, Pango could be here, Tiny could be here, Snapfire could be here. Anyone could be here, and that would be terrifying. But he's free to do this efficiently. And look at that. Oh, we see the teleport? Okay, let me get out. Now I'm going to go jungle a little bit. But he's a little scared because he can't see anything here. So even though he sees Pango, what if someone else, what if they're walking here? What if they TP'd here? He feels a little scared, so he's like coming to play a little safe. What is he doing? Nah, he's coming to farm. Who cares? Cut the wave. Uh-oh. See? Can't see people? Looks like he's going to die. This was really risky. I was like, can you do this? He can't. Look at that. He gets killed. This would be a little safer to do if you had some other kind of deep vision to see where they are. And if you see no one, then you're like, okay, I probably can't cut this wave in between their tier 3 and tier 2 tower when there's only 1 tower taken bottom. But during the fight, we saw how he was free to like run down the lane, go behind the enemy, go to another camp. That is what we're aiming for. That is how you get your carry farmed,
Dyer's top
even though you're
tower
not with a
is falling.
carry. Need a couple more sentries. Can I see the stock? Yeah, you have a ton. I would buy like 4 here. Why? You need a sentry to push a lane. If you want to push this tower, you have to put a sentry here to see Ricky if he plays in the front line. You know what else? It kind of helps to have a sentry in the back in case Ricky is coming around the back line. Let's say you get this tower and you want to keep going. If you don't have any sentries, you can't go because you don't have a sentry to place here to play in this area. So anytime you want to move, you need a sentry. So say you start something here and you don't get this tower and your team ends up making their way top. Can we push top? No, I don't have a sentry. And so when you're against a Ricky and you know it's about, maybe you don't know, but I'm telling you now, this is the time where it's like, we got to do stuff together to make space for Anti-Mage. You need a lot of sentries. And frankly, Ricky is just, look at his health. He's really not that strong if you catch him out. He's annoying to kill because he blinks around, smoke screens, and uses tricks of the trade, and it's like impossible to kill the guy. But if he thinks he's safe and he just walks up into a lift and then a 325 nuke, maybe another stolen spell, some other nuke. Look at you. 150 plus 200, so that's a 350 nuke. Frost shield. What damage is it? 40 damage for 6 seconds, 240. I stuttered there because I suddenly got scared. I didn't do it right. You know, you've got another stun for when telekinesis ends. You know, just between the two of you, Rubik and Lich, your 2 spells are already dealing like over half of Ricky's health when you counter in magic resist. And so in that time, you also have some guy using void and like auto attacking him. The guy's just dead, let alone the spirit breaker who then charges and like continues the chain stun. You know, if you see Ricky and he does not get to use spells, he's a very easy kill. And that's why it's important to buy up a couple sentries ahead of time and just spot him, kill him, and it becomes very safe to push. All right, Anti-Mage is going to respawn. Where does he go? He still wants to go bottom. What does that mean? We got to go mid or top, and we have to like go now. Otherwise, they're going to rotate on him. I'm glad he's walking, actually. And Snapfire's got her ult. Okay. This fight, is it ideal or not? Not the best. Why? Because Anti-Mage just respawned and he was not in a lane yet. If Anti-Mage was bottom, this fight would be okay because he would be farming this and pressuring this tier 2 tower. And then farming the next wave, and then when they go on him, he blinks to the jungle and farms those. Because he was only in, like, he just respawned and he walked out. Because he's right here, you know, you're making space for him to farm in your own jungle, which he could have done without this fight happening. So that means we don't need to fight. He's now TPing top to try to make use of this space, but it's not ideal. He's using his teleport, and frankly, he could farm this even without a team fight happening, right? Because it's right next to a tower. So because of that, this is not a good team fight. I know I said I wanted you guys to do something, but like, I wanted it to be, I want you to draw attention. And in the situation we're in, you're losing team fights. So you don't actually want to fight. You just want to half commit. You want to make them respond, and then you guys get out. In this case, you guys are fighting on your own half of the map, which is not terribly helpful for Anti-Mage. Unless he's already on their half of the map, and then it's like sort of okay. But like at that point, why not go fight under your own tier 2, where it's a lot safer. Now part of this is because you have overlapping vision and like not vision other places. It got dewarded. Okay, so what's going to happen to Anti-Mage right now? They're going to take this tier 2 probably, and then they're going to go respond to Anti-Mage. Let's speed up a little. Hey, look at that. Someone here, someone there. Anti-Mage trying to cut. Hey, look, a third teleport to go get him. He's making space for you guys to farm on their map, on your own map. Doesn't make much sense, right? He's gonna die here. You guys are like off sync. You guys are fighting. Oh, okay. One of the fights was at a good time, but then like that fight was in a bad time because he was not ready to make use of the space that fight provides, which means you don't need to fight. And then because you guys died, he tried to make use of it, and you see what happens. The timing doesn't work out because they're already done with the fight, which means they can then respond to what he does. I think, I don't actually remember who wins this. If you guys win this, I'm assuming it means you eventually got the timing you needed. They should have gotten this tier 2. I think they left a little too soon. I feel like they should have been able to get it. I guess I didn't check the lane that much. In terms of your itemization, by the way, you got a Glimmer Cape. I think a 4-staff is more important. 4-staff to get out of Ricky Cloud, and to, you know, if you were just walking in a line or trying to move slowly, it's very easy for her to keep hitting you with the ult, or this guy to Pango roll to you. But having a 4-staff to get out of the cloud, to suddenly cut a large distance so it's hard for her to follow you with her ult, or to dodge him, I think a 4-staff is really good. Otherwise, something to remove the silence. I don't love Yules on you, but at least it does give you a way to survive the cloud, to cancel Snapfire ult, to dodge Pango ult, but it makes you pretty fragile. I think a 4-staff and a wand, a couple more stats because they are pretty bursty. I think a full wand is pretty good here. And then let me think on it. A bracer, maybe a casual windlace. Hey, look at that. Okay, let's go back. Where's Anti-Mage? He wasn't sure where they are, so he was playing a little safe here. Sees them. Get to the lane, Anti-Mage. Get to the lane. Let's go watch him. Get here. Wasn't quite in position right away, but because he sees all of them, look at that. Again, cutting behind the tier 2. Getting this pressure on the tier 2 tower here like that. He should probably just hit it, actually. A little late now. You know, cuts another creep wave. In that time, so he kind of waited awkwardly. I think he probably just could have kept hitting this tower or farmed a camp in between. Point is, he is free to do whatever he wants. So this fight was a little bit better. Still, you didn't want to, you know, lose that hard under your own tier 2, but conceptually, to work with Anti-Mage, that type of fight is better. Now, he TPs to his own lane. I don't like this. I think he still saw enough of them that he could keep pressuring that tier 2. Part of the reason he TPs, though, is because he feels unsafe, because you guys still don't have any vision back here. Which you still would. If you had placed a deep ward earlier at the time when you guys took this tier 1 tower, actually I've lost track of the time, so maybe you wouldn't have. But this is why it's important to like get some kind of deep ward out there, because he keeps coming back a little sooner than we want him to, and that's because he's scared. You guys are all making your way top, but Anti-Mage TP'd top, so you're just drawing attention to Anti-Mage. That's not what we want. They've been playing pretty aggressively on your side, which also means they probably have a bunch of wards in this area, so you do need to get them removed. I still think Anti-Mage wants to be bottom. There we go. Make your way down there, buddy. Ah, nope. See, you guys are all going bottom. That means, where are they going to go? They're going to go bottom. Or they're going to uncontestedly take every other part of your map. Okay, there we go. Now we split up a little bit. We're still a little close to him. Don't need to be here. Okay, back up. Just back up, back up, back up. Oh. We'll watch it play out. All right. Now let's back up. Every decision I'm making here, it's all about whether Anti-Mage is farming right now. Let's look at Anti-Mage. This is a good spot. Like that. He's farming the creep wave. Great. Who gives a shit about this guy? You don't need to fight him. Are they going to dive your tier 3s right now? No. We see Ricky top. So that might make you think like, oh, maybe we can fight 4-on-4. You guys are losing, so we don't want to fight 4-on-4 because 4-on-4 is still unequal. Even if their carry is farming away from them, you guys are behind. And frankly, with a Spirit Breaker mid, you just don't have much damage between the 4 of you. And so the 4 of you can probably take a 4-on-2 or 3, but you just don't have the damage to take a 4-on-4. Snapfire just used her Aghanims. That's good. Because now, one of the ways Anti-Mage could die is if he like gets smoke screened. But with the Snapfire Ags, she could also just like yeet Tiny on top of him, and then Tiny combos, and the Snapfire ult is going in that time too or something, or maybe another hero then gets there, and then Anti-Mage dies. So for about 40 seconds, while this Aghanims is down, Anti-Mage is very safe from at least this way of dying. And because she threw him in, I know for a fact everyone is here. There's no way they are going for a kill at my tier 3 using Snapfire Ags and only have the 2 heroes here. Like they only have Pango and Snapfire. I know they must have everyone here. And I kind of know that because I don't see anything else on the map from my like the wards you guys do have. But from where the lane positioning is, I know that like, okay, Ricky's up here. I can see that no one's shown up here. So there's a very high chance they're in this area. And they could be bottom, but because the Snapfire's throwing someone, I was like, okay, they're probably all here. If 4 are here and Ricky is here, that means no one is bottom. That's fine. Let Anti-Mage go bottom. Everyone else just back up. Back into your own tier 3s, or make your way into your own triangle and farm there. You probably can't contest this, because if the 4 make their way up there, that's a 5-on-4 fight. Not ideal. But Anti-Mage free farming while you guys farm your own jungle and push out mid a little bit, that actually favors you guys. You guys are farming more lanes and getting more resources than they are. Even though they're getting a tower, I mean, it's the best you guys can really ask for because you're losing. So this whole fight does not need to happen right now. Right, look at this. You have like no damage for this guy. There's like 4 of you on the Pango and you guys have no damage. Anti-Mage is like the carry. You guys have to play like a 4 protect 1 strat on that guy. Which is kind of what this draft is. To me, anyways. I don't know what a Spirit Breaker mid does besides like enable a 4 protect 1 strat. And because we lost that fight pretty badly, it also opens up the fact that they can do this. I don't think Anti-Mage should have TP top. But this replay is not about him. I can't believe this game does not end. How does this go another 25 minutes? So what you're doing right now is fine. Another slightly subpar ult. You know, don't be afraid to hold it. It goes both ways. Like, you know, don't be afraid to use it, but then also it's like, it's okay to hold it. A little tough. I know. But let's check out his items. Still needs the Basher. He's got something coming to him. What's he got? Just teleport. Okay, he's pretty close to the Basher, which means he's like almost online. A little off timing, but considering how everything was going, not too bad for himself. It would have been better if you guys didn't lose a couple fights along the way, though. Because that would make it a little easier for him to try to solo carry. Plus, he's a bit underleveled. We're not here about him, though. Yeah, we sort of are, though. You know, in an indirect way, as a hard support, a lot of our actions are dictated by our carries and mid. So it's like very important to think about them. And so that's why a lot of this game I've been like focused on Anti-Mage, because like what he does is directly enabled by what I do. And so like I need to see what he does, the results of like what I do, so that we can show you a bit like why you need to like push certain lanes or not. So right now you guys are going mid, but Anti-Mage is here. They don't have Snapfire, so maybe this is okay though. Yeah, you're getting it for free. I guess it's okay. I say this in some of the replays. There are things you can always do and things you can sometimes do. You can always farm and ward on your own half of the map. Mostly. If you can't do that, you're probably losing. Usually, even in like a losing game, you can do that. Things you can't always do include placing deep wards. Right now, while Snapfire is dead and you guys have the momentum of 5 heroes here and taking this tower, I don't even know if 5 heroes here is ideal, but frankly, this is what you have. So what that means is that this part of the map right now can be deep warded fairly safely because the enemy is not going to go in right now until Snapfire is up. And so placing a ward here is a huge waste, right? Because even if you guys are losing, this is not that far in. Like a support could sneak their way here in a losing game and drop this ward. So like this does not make use of the fact that you brought 5 heroes and just took the mid tower and Snapfire's dead. Placing a deep ward like back here, that would be cool. That would make AM a little safer. Back here is a little too... maybe it's not that obvious for them. I don't love it though. Placing a deep ward back here. Where else? Here is like okay. Maybe here is a little more on the obvious side. Oh, I recently saw a replay where, who was it? Solo, he put a ward here. I also like this one. I have not used this one myself that much, but I want to. I just haven't been playing since I watched that replay. So I think this ward is pretty good. It's doesn't block the camp. It's like right here. It doesn't block the camp and provides decent vision of this area, and it's unlikely to get dewarded, I think. So that one's also pretty cool. Those deep wards will enable Anti-Mage to play aggressively when you guys are losing team fights in your own tower, you know? So he knows when the enemy team is rotating. All right, let's see. Is this good? This scares me a little bit. You guys can combo him. You guys are overlapping stuns a bit. Ooh, got silence so you can't do the fear. Oh, thank goodness this was going. Please kill this man. Oh, no. Oh, there we go. All right. That's not bad, honestly. It's pretty good, but you should be a little scared about staying too long now. Wait, losing Anti-Mage, not the best. We kill this guy. This is a great time to drop a sentry. I think Ricky should just be dead right around now. You should have put that sentry sooner. It's going a lot better for you. Why? Because you started with the 5-on-1 into the like 5-on-4 and so on. So even though you guys are like in the end are kind of losing, they did buyback and they did waste. I wouldn't say waste, but like it kind of went better than it should have, considering that they're 9k ahead. So that was like overall an okay fight. I don't really think you need to do that. And if Snapfire hadn't bought back, I would say it wasn't worth it. And I don't think she needed to buy back either. So end result, kind of okay. I don't think it should have been, though. I think you guys should have just taken the mid tower, pushed out, drop a deep ward. If you really want to go on the Pango, maybe. And then after that, get out again. But like once you commit that hard for him, it's really tough. What are your neutral items? Let's take a look at that. You could probably take the Craggy Coat. I don't really mind Arcane Ring either, I guess. But this just seems better. I don't think you have... I think you have enough mana. I guess it's a little close because you have the Glimmer Cape. But I do like the Craggy Coat just for the armor. I guess they don't have the best physical damage. Backpack Shovel, that's kind of fun too. Alright, take a look at the minimap. Where's Anti-Mage going? I still think Anti-Mage should be playing on the bottom. We didn't really help him with the wards, but it's still kind of where he should go. That means the rest of us want to keep playing in our jungle. And we don't actually want to fight them in our jungle, but like we want to slow their push. You know, if no one's in the jungle, they just walk in for free. If you have heroes here, they have to like tentatively like, oh, you guys here? Oh, and push their way up. And you guys go like, oh, we are here, but we don't want to fight, so we're going to like back off. And it's like, it slows their push into your jungle. And in that time, Anti-Mage, like he sees that little dance happening and he shoves in bottom lane really fast. Nice. Anti-Mage bottom. Don't see any heroes right now. Okay, we see 2 cores showing right here. I don't know. I can hear Snapfire ult or Snapfire ags, and I can see them like pop up sometimes, but I think there's like replay bugs. I don't think I'm supposed to. But now I see 2 cores. Sorry, I hit the mic again. What should happen? You don't really need to defend this tower. If you can slow it down, great, but don't lose a fight for it. Anti-Mage should head bottom right now. And someone should go shove mid, you know? Because if this game was closer, you guys could maybe defend this and then Anti-Mage TP in if the fight looks good. Because they're kind of losing, I would just dodge it. I would go shove mid. You guys farm the jungle and they're offlane. This is another chance to go place deep wards, and Anti-Mage shoves in bottom. I don't know. You weren't watching. I don't know if someone watched, because I heard the Snapfire axe. I don't know if someone got thrown in here, but if anyone saw that, they should share that with a team and know that, you know, their spells are down. So we're like kind of okay. Looks like you guys are thinking about contesting it, but no one's really up there, which means you're not contesting it. So it's kind of a waste of everyone standing here, right? So it would have been a lot better for someone to head straight mid. So now we get someone mid as the tower falls. This should already be in their tower so that if they want to keep pushing with this momentum they have top, they're losing mid and bottom. But because we didn't quite get going, they don't really have to make that like choice. They're like, yeah, we can just push top,
Radiant's
or we
bottom
could back
tower
off,
is
sure.
under attack.
But they aren't like being pressured in any way.
Radiant's bottom
Here we
tower
go. So see, they now come interrupt mid here, whereas they should have had to like come all the way back. By the way, after they take your mid tower here, you want to place some sentries. I know that's easy to say because I can see on the minimap they have wards, but like you should do it anyways, just because you don't want them to have wards in your base. And there's a Ricky, right? What if Ricky just walks in here? That would be really bad. You also want to make sure you place the sentry a bit more to the side, because as you see in the mid, you've placed it, you covered the whole mid, but now you've actually left a gap here and a gap here. And if you want to cover both those gaps, you're going to need 2 more sentries. Whereas if you place your sentry over here to cover all this, that's 1. And then you have another sentry over here, that's 2. And now you've covered the whole front with 2 sentries instead of 3. Okay, we covered the mid with 2 sentries. Kill this man. All right. Yeah, that Spirit Breaker ult had me laughing a bit.
Dyer's bottom tower is under attack.
Really bold, I would say. Oh, not so bold. You see him all bottom. Okay. All right, I'm cool with this. I don't think you need to be in here. Look at your auto attack, 43 damage. How much damage does Roshan? How much health does Roshan have right now? 10,000. So your 43 damage attack every now and then, really not that useful. It's kind of okay because you see a lot of them bottom. But I still think it would be a bit better for you to be like chugging these mangoes, get the clarity ready, because you can't even ult. What if they come fight? You don't have your ult. You gotta like use all this stuff like now, and then like just provide vision. You have the sentry out here, but like no one, like Ricky could be right here, and none of you can even see him because you don't have vision. So someone needs to be like on the outside or on their half to scout this out. And if you have buyback, you can even go stand aggressively on their side, die, buy back, and then TP in. Except you can't because you guys don't have your outpost, so that's probably what you should be doing. Enemy team's just like... I don't think this should have happened. You guys got a kill here, disappeared for like 40 seconds, and the enemy team never did anything. I think they should have known something was happening and come
Roshan
stop it. Oh, I don't think you guys want to fight, though. What that Aegis to me represents is 5 minutes where the enemy team does not feel that strong to fight you guys. And I want that. Because we're so behind, we just want the game to kind of keep going later. And Anti-Mage could, in theory, solo carry this. But you know what? Night Stalker doesn't scale that badly either. So it doesn't have to be a total solo carry. But a 9k disadvantage means less and less the longer the game goes on. So 5 minutes from now, a 9k advantage is not such a big deal. Especially because at that point, we're closing in on 40 minutes. And 9k is like, you know, manageable. So I just want to chill out these 5 minutes and make them feel tentative to push into our Aegis. I don't want to fight them right after we took Aegis right here, because win or lose, if Aegis gets used, our advantage is, like, say you win this fight, but you use Aegis. Maybe you get a tower, but it doesn't, unless you get like a lot, like tier 2s and maybe even pressure tier 3, you... Like, okay, we lost 2 towers, let's say, as the Radiant. And then it's like 35 minutes. And it's like, oh, okay, we're still in the lead. We can now go push again. You know? You lose that 3 minutes that Aegis would have represented. 4 staffing up like a cliff would have helped you survive here. I don't think Glimmer's that useful. I kind of like the buyback. Actually, I do. I think it's a good buyback. Maybe blast that creep wave once on your way through. I like the buyback because this is like your strong point. This is the Aegis, and so you kind of have to make use of this. Probably did need to ult a little sooner. That was really unfortunate. How do you guys not lose like right now? I don't understand. How does this game go on for 15 more minutes? Yeah, so actually because you didn't like blast that wave once or anything, I would probably use Frost Blast because it's a low cooldown. and because Frost Shield would have been the best for D-pushing, but you want Frost Shield for the fight, and it's 15 seconds cooldown. So Frost Blast once or twice, like once when you meet the wave walking out, and then maybe again because you took the talent as you're like leaving. I think that would have helped not lose that Rax for free there. Okay, Waste Snapfire Ags. Maybe that's how. Okay, we're gonna lose 2 Rax. Anti-Mage like TP's home too soon every time, I feel like. I mean, I know it's not about you. Or it's not about Anti-Mage, it's about you. Alright, get out there, go fight. Did he steal? Oh, that's wild. Can't believe he stole that. Alright, they kind of threw there a little bit, but they did get 2 racks. Push down. Together. You got 50 seconds. You could probably go touch their high ground. I just lost all our creeps. Don't think we needed to. I think we all 5 of us should have like rushed down a lane. Like one person can go push out another lane, like push out top and then connect mid. I think we should have been able to get that tier 2 and look at the tier 3 a little bit before having to back off. Give it a love tap once or twice. Ward surviving, good. I like these wards because actually I think this ward should be in sentry range and I think they just missed it. But I like these wards because now it's less likely for you know, if Anti-Mage is playing aggressively, he'll see heroes in this area. Okay, don't care about defending this tower that much. What the heck? Go over here. I know you probably don't feel comfortable telling him to do that because he's divine. But in like your own games, this is like what he should be doing. He should be like going to go push top and like through his own jungle instead of coming home. And he should TP home. I bet he doesn't have one. Oh, he does. Oh, and he should definitely be going top. And Glimmer him too, don't forget. You kind of need to look a little further down. I'm like trying to find when it's a good time to ult, but I can't see the enemy team. So you gotta move your camera a little lower. That's a good. That looks like an okay ult. A little far out your base though. Yeah, I don't know if you guys needed to chase. You just keep fighting at your T3. All right, everyone backed off, which means they're getting some free damage here. Someone's got to be here to like defend. Oh, nice. That stolen gobble is actually about to win you guys this huge fight. Yo, commend that Rubik. What? Don't commend. I'm just kidding. Was this about to fade? What the heck? Alright. Bonus tip for all you Rubik players. When you have a good spell, you don't need to use this anymore. There's nothing good to steal from. Smoke Cloud is the best thing you can steal from Ricky. And it's honestly just not that great compared to Gobble. This is a hard spell to steal and a very strong spell. You should just keep it. How am I going to get kills with Blink Strike? Oh. That killed me a little bit inside. After such a sick play, too. Alright, repeat. Everyone go down together. Kill this guy, whoever's here. Alright, go straight down. You can de-ward along the way. You're a support, you don't push that fast. Pop this clarity in, clarity up, and then make your way mid. Carries should be shoving in mid. Probably Spirit Break. Actually, Spirit Breaker's also quite mobile. So Spirit Breaker could be split pushing a side lane too. Like maybe going top and then connect mid through charge. But you need someone to be shoving in mid right now. And then you, like, eventually all of you should be mid. So everyone needs to converge mid when we get here. And in the meantime, you can split up a little bit, and it's fairly safe to do that because 4 are dead. All right. So see, no one really went top. I think Spirit Breaker could have done it. That would have made top a little Like, they're going to come chip our towers a little bit, which isn't ideal, but also not the end of the world.
Has fallen.
Where did he go? Just take the buildings. Don't stress me out like this.
Radiant's middle barracks have fallen.
I think you could finish it, guys. Come on. Oh, it's you. I was like, who disconnected? All right.
Radiant's middle barracks have fallen.
I kind of think you could have kept pressuring a bit. But I guess you don't know. He doesn't have buyback, so. But even then, I still think when you reach this stage, you create this issue where sometimes it is so necessary to buy back immediately, even when you're at like 10 seconds left and you're like, I want to wait. I experience this problem a lot, actually, where it's like, I want to wait because it's so close, but really you need to buy back immediately and TP into the fight because you're needed now, not in 10 seconds. This isn't always going to happen, but like when you pressure right now, it's very unlikely either of these two are going to buy back. And by the time they respawn, he has now entered that time frame where he's like, guys, I just want to like wait, you know, I don't want to buy back yet. I'm like so close to respawning from 100 seconds. Like I waited 85 to buy back at the very end. Like I don't want to do that. And so you're pretty safe from buybacks usually, unless you're like literally about to end the game. And so I think you guys could probably take bottom racks and they wouldn't want to buy back. And I think you could wait for them to respawn and then start to get out. Yeah. And even if you guys like wipe here, by the time they get to your lane, like some of you may have respawned, hopefully. Well, maybe not. Your respawns are kind of long at this point. Okay, at this point, playing top is the game plan. I kind of want Anti-Mage or Spirit Breaker bottom because they have the easiest time rejoining near Rosh. Spirit Breaker through charge or Anti-Mage through like a TP and blink in. Everyone else is just a little slow. Okay, so you guys are making your way bottom, but that means you're not near Roshan. No, you're scared. I think you should all be together, like near the top of a cliff. You guys, like as we can see here, you guys are pretty close now. Everyone else is, where's the net worth? How did this change? Did I accidentally press this in the middle of the game? The net worth advantage, like, doesn't mean anything at this point. 3K at this point of the game doesn't mean squat. Oh, you did get this. Nice. Floating a lot of money. Probably unsure what to buy. I do think it's a 4-staff. I really wanted to play in this area a bit. And I think the idea is that, you know, if you guys camped here, like they have to push into your area. You should have dewarded this earlier. And so if they want to come in, they're probably coming in blind. And even if they all group up here, if you see 5 of them walking up, like imagine like a Spirit Breaker charge through 5 into like AoE silence, your ult and stuff going on at the same time. Rubik like lift AoE stun. Maybe, you know, if the guy kept gobble, another AoE stun. I think that could have been really powerful, like at a cliff, because now you guys have a high ground advantage to a low ground advantage. And if someone dies here and you want to commit, you buy back and TP to the outpost. But fighting at like your low ground is now opening up the chance for them to start the fight with gobble and not be so like clumped up. If they like choose to smoke invade, they're very likely to be all together. Yeah, you can buy it. Okay, there you go. We're a little out of position when this fight starts. Drop sentry. Okay, this is a really good fight now. Here's a great chance to ult right here. You can ult a little sooner so you can get some bounces. Don't forget it slows and everything too. It does a lot. Attack slow and move slow, so if they do choose to turn to fight, they're affected by all that, and that's pretty nice. Alright, you guys should just win here, I think. Do Roshan, go top. Mango up. Next set. Next set. Mango yourself. No, mango this guy actually. Alright. You go straight through mid, down bottom. Someone should have been cutting top in that time. I think it should have been Spear Breaker, again, because he has the charge. You need to buy more sentries in that time frame, by the way. Maybe they're on the way. He really, he's dead right now, so it's okay. But if he bought back or if he was alive, you can't really push without seeing him, so you need to have sentries. Okay, you got some. I would just buy them all out. I'm like at a point where like I don't want to leave their map. I like really want to win right now. And if I ever run out of detection, that's really going to be tough. So I should just like buy everything I can. And you've got the money to do it as well. Now, where are you guys all going? Just like keep playing top. All right, you see 4 of them coming up. You guys like place this ward and then like no one's here to defend it, and that's why I feel like really awkward. I know Anti-Mage left, so like maybe you can't. But like you still want to be like close, so like if only one person comes up, you can defend the ward. Like what if just the silencer walks up and dewards this? He should just die. If all 4 come up and you're not feeling confident because you don't have Anti-Mage, then you can back off. But you've at least, the team has been in a position. This is the kind of stuff you can call out as a hard support too. Like I want to defend this ward. Everyone stay here. Okay, looking good, looking good. Looks like we're diving. Let's go get the buildings, huh? Okay. Come on, guys, buildings. Get over here. Yes. Alright. Looks like you guys are gonna win here. No, it doesn't, actually. What do you guys do? Ah, we dive. Probably could have ulted a little sooner, but a pretty good ult nonetheless. Drop a sentry, or in their face. If you die, these guys for sure are not carrying detection. So when you die as a hard support against Invis heroes, try to like drop a sentry for them. And it doesn't have to be when you die either. You know, you can preemptively do it. This whole time, I'm probably like begging my team just hit the buildings. You're still pretty healthy. You have to be in closer. You know, this guy is low and he's staying close. You are fairly healthy. You know, you need to be closer to help out a bit. Oh, we hit a gem actually. I didn't notice that. Maybe that's why you didn't drop a sentry. I might still do it because if he died and you didn't have the sentry down, then like you know, Ricky's just gonna be invis. All right, dove a little hard there. I think you guys should just be able to win. Honestly, I kind of feel like the two of you, if you had more mana, you could probably do it. I guess it's fine to play safe. I think you guys should have been able to win there just by hitting the towers and not diving. Just let AM hit and everyone stand behind Anti-Mage. Yeah, it's kind of okay though. We have a really big advantage. Let's just speed up. I'm actually, I realized the ending here doesn't actually matter that much. A lot of the improvement stuff was way earlier. The end of this game doesn't actually matter. So let's just speed up to go see the end. Looks like we 1v4 that guy while Anti-Mage is now strong, going in deep. Okay, cool. Cool, cool. Still diving. Okay. GG outright. I forgot this was a lobby game. Okay, so honestly, I don't really care about the last half of that game. For you to improve, I want you to do two things to focus on. One, the laning. You even identified this, that you wanted to focus on the early game and the mid game. Early game, that's what mattered the most to me. Let's take a look at the net worth actually real quick. Yeah, so technically Anti-Mage was the best off. I still think it could have been better. I think he could have had a stronger start if you did a couple pulls, if you try to apply the Quelling Blade idea either with yourself or have Anti-Mage cut trees. I think you wouldn't have been tossed by Tiny a couple times. And if you're not tossed by Tiny, then you don't have to buy so much consumable regen. We see you're quite poor for, yeah, you're like dirt poor. And then you start to pick up later. And then after that laning stage, we kind of recovered. I forgot, I think some kind of fight happened and it started to help us recover a bit. Oh, Spirit Breaker charged top, and then like Anti-Mage was able to get a kill, and that started to help save the lane a bit. But after that, Anti-Mage still needs space to farm, and then we talked about just looking at the minimap and like making a plan. Like, okay, I need somewhere safe for Anti-Mage, so I need to go try to make something happen before he gets chased out of top. That didn't happen this game, but like that's usually what I'm thinking about. After that, in this game it's like, okay, Anti-Mage just has to suffer for a little bit. We need to make somewhere safe for him. Let's all go bottom or something. Um, or okay, Anti-Mage has gone top. We all need to go bottom. Or anything like that. You just need to look at the minimap, and it's very clear when you just. That's the hardest part, is having the map awareness. But like once you look at the minimap and I ask you, it's like, I want Anti-Mage to be alone. So what does that mean? Oh, he went top. Okay, we go bottom. It's like, it's actually very straightforward. But it requires us to like look at the minimap a lot and make our decisions from there. And it's actually just those two things. So we could have made a much shorter video probably, but I still wanted to cover the whole thing. And I was curious how you guys won. Like, how'd you turn that? I think the enemy team kind of messed up a bit, which let you guys come back. I think they definitely could have won, and probably should have, to be honest. But they made some mistakes, got picked off a little bit too much, and ooh, I like this Vlad's pickup at the end. Actually, I think that's kind of fun. Probably unnecessary, but it's still fun. I feel like many people don't think about getting a Vlad, so I think it's cool. Actually, I know that because tomorrow you're going to see a video on that. Oh, no, actually, this video will come out after the Vlad's video, so never mind. Haha, just kidding. Okay, I think that's it. I don't know why I just went to the home screen, just because. Yeah, thanks for watching. Hope that was helpful, as always, and I'll see you guys next time.